Alright everyone, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video here along I-80 and US-95 between Lovelock and Winnemucca, Nevada. So this particular clip that I'm showcasing to you guys right here is actually along westbound I-80 and southbound US-95 here as we head back towards the Humboldt Range and Lovelock, Nevada. So this stretch of both I-80 and US-95 is one of my favorite stretches of both roads in the state just because of the amazing views of this mountain range that you get right here between the two cities. I'll admit, probably springtime is my favorite time to travel through Nevada just because you have so much snow on these desert mountain ranges here, and it just makes for a really amazing and scenic and beautiful drive here. I mean, it just makes it look like these mountains are way taller than they actually are, and they get a lot more snow than they actually would otherwise. But I mean, Nevada is called Nevada because it means snow-capped in Spanish, and honestly, if you travel through northern Nevada in the winter, springtime, or early summer, you really see how Nevada lives up to that name, because a lot of people just assume Nevada is a desert, and it is the driest state in the United States by far, but it also gets a lot of snow in the wintertime, and all of the mountains out here in the middle of the desert get a lot of snow on them in the wintertime, and it just makes for a really beautiful and amazing driving experience here in the spring. So this video is obviously a continuation of my US-95 series here that we're doing in Nevada, but US-95 really kind of takes a back seat here to Interstate 80 because it just basically follows I-80 between that junction there south of Lovelock all the way up to Winnemucca for about 100 miles. And one thing I will say right now, if you are heading north from Winnemucca along US-95, you better just be prepared to pass through a whole lot of nothing, because there is basically no towns bigger than 200 people for over 250 miles from the time you leave Winnemucca, and then you pass through the northern part of Nevada there, you pass through the southeastern corner of Oregon, and then you finally enter Idaho, and then about 50 miles into Idaho you finally enter the Treasure Valley, or like the greater Boise region there along US-95. So you are going to be passing through some of the most remote stretches of road in the entire country there if you go ahead north along US-95 from Winnemucca, Nevada. And in just a few short videos down the line, that's exactly what we're going to be doing here as we continue our drive along US-95 that began all the way down there in California. You guys are really getting spoiled here with all these videos here along US-95. It's kind of like the video series I did there along US-395 in California and Nevada as well. So I'm sure you guys will be looking forward to these videos that are coming up here along US-95, as they just really pass through some of the most remote parts of the country, and I don't see a lot of videos of people driving these roads. So I'm really looking forward to showcasing to you guys these amazing rural areas of the United States that no one really goes to or visits, so it's going to be really cool highlighting that for you guys to see. And like I said earlier, the views here along US-95 and I-80 between Lovelock and Winnemucca of the Humboldt Range here are just absolutely spectacular. I mean, these mountains get really close to about 10,000 feet here, and some of Nevada's mountain ranges up here in this part of Nevada get really close to 10,000 feet but don't quite make it that far. The Santa Rosa Range there north of Winnemucca is also very similar to the Humboldt Range here, where they get a lot of peaks that get really close to 10,000 feet but don't actually cross that threshold. You don't really get mountains that are over 10,000 feet until you get to the northeastern part of Nevada over there where Elko is. You got the Jarbidge Mountains, and then you got the Ruby Mountains and stuff like that too, and of course you got the Snake Range down there in Great Basin National Park in Ely. So yeah, some of Nevada's highest mountains are actually up here in northern Nevada, but some of the highest ones are actually farther east in the state here instead of this more northwestern part of the state. Alright everyone, I just want to give a shout out to all my social media accounts that you see on the screen here, because I really am trying to grow my social media accounts beyond just here on YouTube. I would really appreciate it if you guys would check out my Instagram. I'm really trying to grow that social media platform, so I would really appreciate it if you guys would follow me on there. My username is just InterstateKyle. What's really cool about my Instagram is if I'm on a road trip, I will post on my story of where I am and what I'm doing, so it's just a really cool way for you guys to follow along with me in real time to see what I'm doing and what I'm up to. I know my videos on here can get pretty dated very quickly, so if you guys want to see what I'm doing in real time, I highly recommend checking out my Instagram, and I would really appreciate your support over there. You guys can also check out my Facebook group and my Twitter/X account. The links to all those are down in the description. Another thing I want to give a shout out to is my Patreon, which is a way for you guys to support me beyond YouTube here. If you guys want to join my Patreon, you guys can get special perks for joining, like watching all of my videos early before they are released here on YouTube. and all the money I make on there goes right back into this YouTube channel to keep producing more of these types of videos in the future. The link to my Patreon is also down in the description, so if you really want to check it out, I would really appreciate your extra support over there as well. And another thing that is set up on my channel is Super Thanks, which is located to the right of where you would normally like one of my videos. What that basically is just a way for you guys to tip me out for each video going forward if you feel that I've earned it, of course. And then all the money on there also goes right back to this channel to keep producing more of these types of videos in the future. Alright folks, I really hope you all enjoyed this ride here along US-95 and I-80 here between Lovelock and Winnemucca, Nevada. I want to thank you all so much for watching this amazing video right here, and I hope you all have an amazing day. And take care everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to the next adventure, and we will see you next time.